Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this week. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. And it's been quite a couple of days weather-wise here. It is the 3rd of February when we're doing this show this evening, and oh my gosh, our radio stations in Chicago, they got 10 inches yesterday. And then we had, oh my gosh, lots of rain here. We were dodging tornadoes earlier this afternoon. Tim and I were in our lower level watching the news because the sirens were going and everything, and lots of ice. So stay tuned, huh? Always something exciting coming up. We have a whole bunch of callers on hold, but first, since it's the first of the month, you know what that means? Da-da-da-da! I give away a free session the first Thursday of every month. And the reason I do this is because I so appreciate you being a part of this community and listening to the show. And I know $200, which is what I charge for an hour, is a lot of money to a lot of people. And if you want a free session, all you have to do is just go to ratethispodcast.com/Julie and leave a review. And then you're entered into a drawing, and I pick somebody each month. And then you get a free hour with me, and we can talk about whatever you want, as many topics as you want. We cover a lot in an hour, and it's a blast. We have so much fun. So this month's winner is somebody named Julie. Who knew? Love your name. And she said, great energy. I first heard Julie Ryan on the We Don't Die podcast and was uplifted by Julie's spirit and energy. My 24-year-old son passed on a little over a year now, and I have immersed myself in anything afterlife in order to heal my grief and gain insight as to where my son is and if he's well. Thank you, Julie. And she signed it, Julie and my son, Brennan. How sweet is that? So, Julie, you get a free hour with me, Julie. We'll do the Julie Squared hour. And so just email me, julie@askjulieryan.com, and we'll figure out a date and time that works with your schedule. And I really look forward to talking with you, and I'm sure we'll talk with your son. The stuff I hear when I talk to deceased loved ones is really so much fun. A couple of days ago, I was talking to a woman who died a couple of weeks ago. I had her husband and her daughter on the phone, and she started talking about graham crackers. And I'm like, graham crackers? What's up with the graham crackers? So I asked them, I said, do graham crackers mean anything? She's talking about graham crackers. And her husband said that she ate a graham cracker with Nutella on it for her snack every afternoon. And he said, I just moved 2 boxes of graham crackers in my pantry this morning. I said, well, there you go. So Spirit's always going to give us information that's going to let us know that it's really them. And this woman was talking about graham crackers. I thought that was hilarious. Okay, let's go to the phones. And our first caller's Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Hi, where are you located?
I'm in Mason, Ohio.
Mason, Ohio. Okay, down near Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Columbus, so that's how I know that. I passed you when I'm driving to Columbus from Birmingham, up 71. I'll wave to you next time I go by.
I'm right near Kings Island.
Right near Kings Island. Kings Island, everybody, is an amusement park, and they have a replica of the Eiffel Tower. So when my son Jonathan was little, and my parents were still alive, we'd always call and he'd say, oh, we're passing the Eiffel Tower, which means it's like 2 hours till we arrive. And even now, I'll call my brother and say, okay, we're passing the Eiffel Tower if we're driving. So, well, welcome. You got a question for me?
I do. So about 3 years ago, I bought this vibrational plate machine, and you stand on it, and it vibrates your body. And it's supposed to be good for running your lymph system and people who have desk jobs. So one night, I got on it, and my left hip hurt more, so I leaned to the left, thinking that would give it more vibrational feel. and I woke up in the middle of the night and I had really bad vertigo. But I didn't put it together like the crystals might have gotten out of it. So
yeah.
I decided I wanted more room in my room, so I decided to get one I just put on the floor under my desk. And so I've had 2 vertigo episodes since I've been using that, and I could still feel the vibration in my head. So I'm thinking that's causing the vertigo. I'm not sure. But also, someone said, well, you may have many years, because even after I have the Epley maneuver and they put the crystals back in, I still have this, like, if I'm reading my iPhone, when my head's down, I'll have this funny sensation, and then I'll feel like I'm on a boat on the wave. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, and I don't know if it's vestibular. I've been Googling it, on YouTube, or been on YouTube, so there's all kinds of things out there. Cervical, my chiropractor said, he also thinks it's like in my C1 or C2. So anyway, I wanted to see if you could look at that and maybe give me some relief and see what you see.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Lori, is I'm going to get you on my radar. And how this works for those of you that are first-time listeners is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body having a human experience. And then I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to hook into you in the Cincinnati area. And then I'm going to have a hologram of you in my mind's eye, Lori. And it's going to be as if I'm looking at an X-ray or a CT scan or an MRI. And something will be identified, and then immediately thereafter there will be some type of energetic healing that will begin. And I'm very descriptive with what I'm seeing. It's like I have a big screen computer in my head, or a big screen TV, and I'm going to describe to you what I'm seeing. And if you can envision it, or at least get a sense of what it is that I'm seeing, it's going to help integrate the healing into your body. And healings will integrate either instantly, they can integrate over days, weeks, months. They may need some kind of complementary care, like some type of medicine or change in diet or physical therapy, or like you said, the Epley maneuver, which works really well with tinnitus and other vertigo and things like that. So it's always our spirit's choice how to integrate the healing that happens. And I learned how to do all of this stuff, Lori. I didn't walk around with dead people chasing me when I was little. I learned how to do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading up to you. You guys probably got socked with snow too, didn't you? Or is it happening now?
We're still getting sleet. It's pretty bad, and we're waiting on the snow.
Yeah. I talked to my brother in Columbus earlier, and he had said that everything was shut down up there. So, all right, got you. The energy's going to your left ear first, Lori. Does it seem to be worse on the left side of your?
That's worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So I'm in your eustachian tube, and I'm tunneling through it. Imagine there's a little teeny tiny corkscrew that's spinning and tunneling through your eustachian tube. To unplug it, all right, I'm just going to go on the other side too with that little tiny corkscrew. Let me get that unplugged. All right, let me go from there. Yeah, I think the plate is exacerbating it. I'm watching another Epley maneuver happen. For those of you that don't know what that is, we have these little crystals in our inner ears, and for a huge amount of different reasons, they can get dislodged. And so the Epley maneuver is a therapist will move your head a certain way to try and get those crystals back in line. Is that a good description, Lori? Is that what you understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm watching an energetic Epley maneuver happen right now. I would suggest that you consider getting another session with somebody who can do that for you, and hopefully this healing will help. And I would stay off the plate in the short run till you have a handle. Yeah. I think so too. And those are supposed to be really terrific, and you're not the first person I've heard have a reaction like that. So a lot of times it'll happen when you have a cold or something else is going on and your ears are clogged up. but it just kind of exacerbates it. Yeah. So I hope you feel better.
I've had the epilepsy, but even after I've had the epilepsy, sometimes I'll have that motion like I'm in a boat. So do you think there's something going on in my station tube that I might have to have some therapy?
No, I just roto-rooted it. No, I think you're going to be just fine. No, it cleared out energetically. I think it's going to, it'll clear out on its own. Do you use a humidifier at night when you sleep in your bedroom?
No, I have one, but I haven't hooked it up.
Run it, especially when your furnace is going, when it's cold. So I hope that helps. Thanks for calling. Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll see who's next and see what their question is. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show, and we'll be right back, so stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go to the phones, and our next caller is Kathy. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing better now that I got in from shoveling. Michigan. I'm in Michigan, and we got our 9 inches of snow with our sleet.
Oh, geez. Wow. So heavy snow, huh?
It's a heavy snow, yeah. So I take it in shifts. So you come in and take a little rest, and then you go back out and go at it. So I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, well, that's what happens this time of year up there. And that's why I live in Sweet Home, Alabama. I will dodge a tornado every now and again because I don't want to do the snow thing. Oh, I grew up in Ohio, as I was just saying, Kathy, and my first job out of school was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I swore when I left there, when I was almost 25, I swore I'd never live where it snowed again, and I have not, and I don't ever plan on it. So, God bless you. Well, you got a question for me?
Well, I do, and this happens to be a question about my cat. I had Jessmo is his name, and he's about 9 years old, and he's got a lot of ear issues. He's always had it. It's kind of one of those things that pesters him. So he went to the vet a couple months back, and they treated him with Dermaline ointment, which has a nice statin in it. He had a bacterial infection in his ears and sinus. And the poor guy, he reacted severely to it. Half-paralyzed face, lost his balance, had dry heaves, was very itchy. So I nursed him back to health, and then the darn thing came back, and so we went back to the vet, and they didn't read his chart where I had listed he was allergic to it. So he got the same dose again, and we had the same reaction. Since that time, he's gotten his sinuses, they've never really cleared up 100%, but I've even tried just a saline rinse to work with him, and he's so reactive now, he gets fiery red in the ears and such. And I've also noticed just recently that he's starting to react to his food. And I buy high-end food, so usually the grain-free, and I try to do the natural stuff. And he's an indoor-outdoor cat, so he does like to hunt, and he does very well with it. But with our snows and stuff, we've been challenged with trying to find anything living that he can get to. So I've been doing the home cooking, and he does do some of my stuff, but I'm concerned that maybe the doses that he got maybe have affected his liver or his kidneys, because he's just nibbling a little bit, but he's not eating enough to really even use the indoor litter box. He prefers the outdoor, but I haven't seen a lot of action. And so he gets dry heaves and stuff after he eats. So I don't know. Can you scan him and see? I've asked permission from him, and he gave me a meow. So
I don't usually get permission from animals. I do from people, but animals I never ask permission. They were all fine for me to scan them.
With him, he's a character. He plays hide and seek, and he is one smart cat. And so I thought I better. And he's been running around the living room while I've been trying to talk. And I said, "Oh, listen, I'm going to ask about you, so you got to behave yourself."
Oh, that is a riot. Yeah, he's just in a hyperimmune response right now. In humans, they would call it a mast cell response, Kathy, where you're just like the bucket's full and any little stimuli is just going to make the bucket run over.
So, like his owner. Mm-hmm.
What I'm doing is I am I, Spirit working through me and with me. When I say I, that's what that means. Spirit's working through me and with me.
Sure.
And so I'm using anti-inflammatory energy on him. When I see his whole body's red, like red fog over his whole body, that's inflammatory energy. That's what inflammation looks like to me, Kathy. So I'm using anti-inflammatory energy, which is a royal blue color, to get that calm down so I can go in. He looks like he's got a fungal infection in his ears, not a bacterial infection. Okay. So what I'm watching is I'm watching his ears get swabbed out with a vinegar solution. Now, I'm not saying use that because that'll probably just burn like crazy and he'll never let you near him again. But that's what I'm watching.
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah. Energetically, that's what I'm watching. And watching his ears get swabbed out with that. And they smell, right? They have an odor to them. Is what
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that. And I was thinking either fungal or bacterial. And I've used Condola in a tincture, like just using a rinse, because I know that that's okay with the cat. And so I've just been trying to.
I'm getting it's a fungal infection, and what I'm watching is I'm watching it get, those makeup squares, Kath, that you can use to take your makeup off. They're kind of padded or whatever. You can get them at the drugstore or at the grocery store. I'm watching that even if you just dip it in warm water and try and swab his ears. I don't know that he's going to let you get near him, but I'm getting a fungal infection is there. And have you called the vet? What does the vet say?
We can't get them in to be seen for another 7 days because they've been so busy with different things. So just trying to get people that just don't want to give me steroids. They've been kind of like, it's either you take this drug or forget it. And I don't operate that way.
No.
Someone, he needs, and I've had very limited area.
I think he needs some kind of a antifungal, like a nice statin cream or something like that. But I don't know enough on the vet thing. You can buy the antifungals over the counter, but look online and see what the suggestions are for fungal infections in ears, because dogs get them a lot too, and they are stanky. And they get like this brown, blackish stuff in their ears. Yeah, they're wicked.
Yeah, a lot of that. I call it but I just want him healthy and happy, and he's been kind of gets his spurts, gets his second winds, and then gets playful, and he's a lot of fun. But I also don't like to see him down. I can write down when he's. Yeah.
Well, I hope he feels better. Okay. I hope he feels better. Good. Look online, Kathy, and see what it says for fungal infections for ears for cats, and you'll find some stuff in the interim to use. Okay, everybody, time for another break. When we come back, I think we'll have Brigitte on next. So we'll see what her question is. Stay with us. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go to the phones, and our next caller is Brigitte. Hi, Brigitte.
Hi, Julie. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I would just like to, before I ask my question, I'd just like to say how much I've enjoyed listening to the show the couple of times I've been able to get on. And I attended a couple of your meetings with Helping Parents Heal. And also I really enjoyed your interview with Suzanne Giesman that I listened to a while back. So I find what you do fascinating.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate all those kind words. Where are you located?
Thank you. I'm in the Bay Area in California.
Okay, terrific. Well, you got a question for me?
California. I do. My husband was diagnosed in late 2018 with colon cancer and had surgery at that point in time, and they caught it early. It's a story I hear over and over again. They caught it early, and there was no need for any more treatment, and they would just keep an eye on it. So the following year, they called him back, or actually, he ended up in the emergency room with kidney stones, and they did a CAT scan, and they noticed that there was something on his liver, which turned out to be liver cancer. He went through several runs of chemo, different chemos, but nothing worked. So, we're doing some things on our own, and I'm just concerned about him, and I'm just curious if there's anything you could do for him, if this is something that you've dealt with before, because there really isn't any Western medicine for us at the moment. We're doing alternatives in Eastern medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I work with it several times a week, if not daily, Regine.
Okay.
Some kind of cancer. Yeah.
Right.
With private clients. So what's his name? What's your husband's name?
His name is Patrick.
Patrick. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to you and from you to Patrick, and then I'm going to ask his permission if I can scan him. If he says yes, I will. If he says no, I won't. But not all is lost because we can talk to his spirit. The reason I'm such a stickler for that, Regine, is because I believe it's an invasion of somebody's privacy if I'm scanning them without their permission. And if somebody's calling me on an appointment or calling my show, I know you want me to scan you, but it's something else when you ask me to scan somebody else. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading out to the San Francisco Bay Area. Got you going to Patrick. Patrick, I'm talking to Regine. Is it okay if I scan you? Yeah. He said, yeah, sure. Oh, that was cute. Yeah, sure. All right. So I'm asking him telepathically, did you set that up? Oh. Did you tell him we were going to scan him tonight?
Yes.
All right.
I got a photograph, and I told him telepathically.
Yes, good. Okay. All right. So I'm in there now. What I'm going to do first is encapsulate where I see cancer. Cancer looks to me, Brigitte, energetically, I get these images, and they're metaphors or they're analogies of an energetic vibration. And these visions come into me, or these images, so that our human minds can have some frame of reference so we can try and understand what the heck's going on with these energetic healings. And sometimes they're really hilarious. But cancer looks to me most of the time, and this is what I see with Patrick, it looks like it's very dark. It reminds me of hot tar that's used when a road is being paved with asphalt. They lay down that hot black tar and it's sticky. That's what it looks like. So I'm encapsulating what I see, and I see it in his colon. I see it in his liver. And so what I'm doing is encapsulating it and then removing it. Now what we're going to do is a DNA healing. 7 strands of DNA have come out of an X chromosome. Imagine that they look like pieces of paper that you'd find inside a fortune cookie with a fortune written on it. And DNA is the recipe that tells the cells how to behave. When we have cancer, there's been a mutation in the DNA. And so what I'm watching happen is I'm watching letters on that recipe. There's a combination of 4 letters, A, T, C, and G. They stand for nucleic acids. There can be 100,000 letters on a strand. There can be up to 1 billion letters on a strand. I'm watching them get rearranged like I'm watching a Scrabble game in warp speed. Have you ever played Scrabble, Brigitte, where you move a letter up and over to form a word? That's what I'm watching happen with these strands of DNA. And then when they're reconfigured, they're going back to a normal recipe. When they're reconfigured, then they snap back into the X chromosome. First 3 have already snapped back in. The remaining 4 are happening right now. Consider scheduling an hour session with me, and we can do a really deep dive with him. 4 and 5 strands have gone back in. I got 6 and 7 still working. So consider getting on my schedule. And then when you get your confirmation email, Brigitte, I'm booked out a couple of months, there's a reschedule button on it. Click on that periodically because that will tell you when people have rescheduled. And oftentimes you can get in within a day or two. I had a situation this morning where my first appointment didn't make it. She was messed up on the time. So we just didn't talk. My second appointment canceled like 10 minutes before the appointment. So I called the first appointment and she was able to get in. So stuff like that happens every day, all the time, multiple times a week. So just get on my schedule and then we can move you around from there. Okay, 6 and 7 snap back in. So those are going to help in the short run. With that, one last thing, Brigitte, there's a book that you want to get a hold of. It's in audiobook and in paperback and hardback, and it's called Radical Remission. Have you heard of that book?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you read it? Okay, good. Yeah. For those of you that haven't heard of it, it's written by a gal who's a PhD, and I believe when she was getting her doctorate, she was working in a cancer clinic. And somebody came in and said they were in remission and had been for several years, and she'd never heard of that. So she asked a couple of the doctors about it, and she said, "Do you have patients in remission?" And they said, "Yeah, we all do." And she said, "Well, do you tell your other patients that?" And they said, "No, we don't, because we don't want to give them a false sense of hope." And she thought that was ridiculous. So she spent the next year and she interviewed people around the world from all walks of life, all different socioeconomic situations and education levels and countries. And she found, I think it's, Brigitte, 13 common denominators that were 13 things that they had in common that everybody
13.
did. Was it 13?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, 12. You got the book here, maybe I'll.
Yeah, anybody that's dealing with cancer or has a loved one who is, I highly recommend Radical Remission. And Brigitte, if your husband hasn't read that yet, has Patrick read it yet? Do you know, or listened to it?
He did. Our son was ill, and unfortunately we lost him, but we read it, and my son read it also because we needed all the help we could get.
Yeah. Well, consider scheduling an appointment with me. We'll have a whole hour. We can do a deep dive, and we'll see what else we can do to help. But in the short run, hopefully, that'll give him a little bit of reprieve.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you for calling. Good luck with everything. Okay. All righty. Take care. Thanks, Brigitte.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, let's go to Christine next. Hi, Christine.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm calling from Wisconsin.
Okay, terrific. Did you get a bunch of that white stuff up there?
We didn't get a lot of snow, but we're cold. I think today was like 11 degrees for a high.
I have a friend that lives in Minneapolis, and she was saying that I think she said they were below zero wind chill. You probably were too. So, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. I hope you stay warm. Keep the fires burning, right?
Thank you.
You got a question for me?
Thank you. I do. I'm calling because my mom is not well, and I was wondering if you might be able to do a quick scan of her and let me know where she might be in your 12 phases.
Yeah. What's her name?
Joan.
My late sister's name. All right. So I'm going to connect into you, Christine, and then from you to your mom. So here we go. Comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama. I'll send you some warm temperatures. How about that with my laser beam? It was 70 this morning or today during the day, and now it's going to be like 40 tonight. So it's dropping 30 degrees in a few hours. All right. Got you. Your mom is in phase 7 of 12, Christine. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, it's not secret code. I promise. Right, Christine? It's when we're at the end of our life, we're surrounded by angels and the spirits of deceased loved ones and the spirits of deceased pets as we're approaching the end of our life. Is your mom verbal? Has she told you anything about that she could see spirits around her, or like her parents or anybody?
She's verbal, but she has not said she could see anybody. Definitely
okay.
Not.
I'm going to hold you over for the break, Christine, and then I'll explain what the 12 phases of transition is in more detail. So stay with us, everybody. When we come back, we'll talk about angels and deceased loved ones. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking with Christine, whose mom, Joan, is in phase 7 of the 12 phases of transition. Are you still with us, Christine?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. So anybody that's interested in seeing diagrams, I've come up with a diagram, like a schematic, I guess, Christine. Go to AskJulieRyan.com, go to my website, and go to the 12 Phases page, and you'll see there are diagrams of this configuration of angels and deceased loved ones and the spirits of deceased pets, and how they change, and we can tell how close to death somebody is based on what configuration the angels and deceased loved ones are in. And there's a button there where you can download that chart, Christine. You may want to download it and put it on your phone. And then all you have to do is just ask aloud or in your head, what phase of transition is my mom in? And you'll get a number, and it'll come in really fast, and it'll just feel like it's a thought in your head. And then you can look on the chart, and if she's progressing through the phases fairly quickly, you'll know that it's getting close. People can take a long time. It can happen instantly. It can be days, weeks, months. I had a gal that called into the show for a couple of years, and her dad was in phase 11 of 12. And when somebody's in a phase, they can come back out completely. They can go back and forth in the phases. There are lots of different scenarios. But it gives you at least a frame of reference for what's happening, and when she's getting into the later stages, then if you want to have family or friends come in and be there, you'll know to get them notified. Because people take time off work and they travel vast distances to be with their loved ones at the end of their lives. But I had asked you before the break if your mom had said anything about seeing deceased loved ones or anybody that she knew.
Not that she shared with me.
Okay.
No, that she's shared. Right. I guess I can talk to her tomorrow about it.
Well, if she brings it up, that's fine. Oftentimes you'll see people who they'll be reaching up, and they're greeting somebody who's a spirit that they haven't seen for a long time. They'll talk about maybe having a dream. University-based research shows that close to 90% of people at the end of their lives see the spirits of deceased loved ones and friends and pets in visions or in dreams at the end of their lives. It's very, very common. It's in most of the hospice material. Do you have hospice involved, Christine?
No, the doctor won't. The doctor won't authorize it.
All right. Well, then just call a hospice facility yourself and go around the doctor. You don't have to have a doctor's orders. Okay. Nope. You don't need a doctor's orders. You can call a hospice place yourself, and they'll handle all the insurance stuff and all that jazz. Just go around them. Because hospice can be called in. Actually, I'm going to have a hospice nurse on. I'm going to do an interview with her in a couple of weeks. And that's one of the things that people don't know. You can bring hospice in even a couple of years. I mean, it can be months and months and months. It's not just for the last few days. So just go around them and call a couple of agencies and get a feel for them and just tell them that you need them to get involved. Yeah, so I hope that helps.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. One more thing, Christine. Christine, look for little miracles along the way as you're going through this, because they will be plentiful. So pay attention for those. Okay. You bet. Hang in there. Okay. Let's go to Elaine next. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Julie. I'm so happy that I got called. I had spoken to you several weeks ago about a breast cancer, and you said it was a dot size. I had an hour with you, and you said that I'd be fine and not to worry. And the surgery and everything went very, very well. But my question to you is that the doctor has sent it off for something called an oncotype, and that's when they check the gene in the tissue to determine the likelihood of it returning and your need for chemo. If the score is low, they said you will not have chemo, but if it's high, you will need chemo. And I wanted to know if you had any feeling about that with me. I'll probably get the results in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Elaine, please tell everybody where you're located. And then let me see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's all right.
I'm located in Boston.
Boston. Can you tell by listening to her, you guys? She got that Bostonian accent. You guys got some snow headed your way, too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, ice tomorrow. Ice.
Oh, jeez. Okay. So will Elaine, will the doctors recommend Elaine have chemo? I got to know. But remember, future events are fluid. And there are lots of variables that come in to affect an outcome. So I can just give you what I'm getting right now. The other thing is, if they say yes, get a second opinion. Be sure and get at least a couple of opinions, just so you feel comfortable with it. But I'm delighted to hear that everything went well with your surgery. How are you feeling?
I'm very tired, just tired. I've had chemo twice in the past. If you recall, I've had a history of different cancers, and I just don't know if I can do it again. I don't think I can go through it again.
Follow your gut on that, and I'm pushing the anesthesia out of your system, Elaine. We are told that anesthesia only stays in for a couple of days. I can see it months afterwards. And so I'm pushing it out of your system, out of the top of your head. And I'm also doing a heavy metal detox. There's lots of heavy metals in anesthesia. And so there's these two giant magnets on either side of you, and they're joined in the middle. The U's are on either side, and they're going up and down your body, and they pull out metallic particulates. And then they turn a quarter of a turn, go up and down your body, pulling out particulates. Turn another quarter of a turn, same thing, one more time. All right, and then they pop off, and then I irrigate those out. So I'm doing that and also shooting energy into you to give you some more energy in the short run. So are you just sleeping a lot? Are you able to rest?
Yeah, I am able to rest, but I'm just so tired. I mean, yesterday I was with my grandkids. I came home at 7 p.m. and went to bed till 5 this morning. I was out.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, pay attention to how you feel and honor that because your body's healing. So keep us posted. Let us know what happens with your doctors. And thanks for calling. Stay with us, everybody. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll get more callers on and see what their questions are and see what Spirit has to say the answers are. So you're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Stay with us. We do this show every Thursday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 667-770-1476, and the access code is 483-620-pound. Now, this information is available on my website, AskJulieRyan.com, and anywhere you download podcasts. It's in the show notes. We're also on YouTube and Alexa. Just say, hey, Alexa, play the Ask Julie Ryan podcast, and Alexa will play it. So when you're there, you can go to ratethispodcast.com/Julie, ratethispodcast.com/Julie, and leave a review. Or when you're on the podcast in the notes, you can leave a review wherever it is you listen to podcasts. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan, and we'll post a reminder each week with the call-in information. Say, hey, call in tonight. Remember, if you've got a question, call in tonight. While you're at AskJulieRyan.com, be sure to sign up for my weekly newsletter. It's a question somebody submitted online, and then I answer it, and also schedule an appointment with me. And as I was mentioning earlier to Brigitte with her husband Patrick, just get on my calendar, and then on your confirmation email, click the reschedule button when you think of it. And appointments that are sooner will show up, and then you can change it. And so that happens multiple times every week. And whenever I talk to somebody who's been able to do that, they say, I thought you were just making that up, but it's really true. I said, yeah, it's really true. So give it a try. And then I've got about 6 spots left for my angelic attendant training. That's the big training that goes 4 Saturdays, and you learn how to do all this stuff that I do. I am working on an online training as well that will be self-paced. I hope to have it up and available this month. And it's going to be called Angels and Enlightenment Training. So we have AAT, Angelic Attendant Training. That's the big one. And then we have AET, which is Angels and Enlightenment. And that's going to be how to talk with spirit, and also the 12 phases of transition and all about that. So, and there will be practice groups that go with it, and a monthly Q&A with me that'll be live. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll be able to do it on your own time, and it's going to be a lot less expensive too, because it won't be live. Okay, so everything you need to know is at AskJulieRyan.com. So check it out. All right. Our question this week is from Diana, and Diana lives in Sydney, Australia. And here's her question. Hi, Julie. My amazing father left us earthside in February of 2020. I miss him every day and feel both pain and love in my heart every time I think about him. It was in his passing that I also started my incredible spiritual journey and learned to love myself again and experience true joy and happiness. As the Selena Gomez song goes, quote, I needed to lose you, and she put in parentheses, Dad, to love me, end quote. And I can't help but feeling guilty at times for thinking this way. How can I possibly be happy when my dad is no longer here with us in physical form? So, my question for my dad is, why did it take your death for me to be happy? And how's life in heaven? I love you, Dad. Thanks, Diana. And that was really sweet. So here's my response. Hi, Diana. I'm sorry for your loss with your dad's passing, and I'm thrilled it seemed to be the catalyst for what sounds like an amazing spiritual journey. It's completely natural to feel the gamut of emotions you describe, ranging from sorrow to elation. We all process grief differently, and how it shows up is perfect for us as individuals. Grief's different for everybody. Some people go through it easily and quickly. Other people, it's a long, hard slog. So trust that's all unfolding perfectly. Just follow your intuition, and there's no right way, there's no wrong way to do grief. I went on to say we're all eternal spirits, and I put in parentheses energy, attached to a body having a human experience. When our life's over, our human bodies die, and the everlasting part of us, our spirit, continues. In each lifetime, we explore experiences that raise our vibrational level. This allows us to understand concepts that heretofore may not have made sense to us. When your dad passed, what you experienced raised your vibrational level. And since his death, you've continued to raise your vibrational level, access and comprehend more complex concepts that allow you to be in alignment with your spirit, attract divine guidance, and live a more abundant, joyful life. It's like diving into the deep end of a pool. If you can't swim, you're probably not going to think of being in deep water because it's going to be too scary. So you go into the shallow water, wade to your waist, then to your shoulders, then learn how to tread water, and eventually swim. Then, equipped with these skills, you resonate, you're on the same frequency, you vibrate with the idea of diving into deep water, and you easily do it. At this point, your spirit's expanded enough to access this new concept of easily living a joyful life, regardless of what's happening around you. Remember, we all control our thoughts. Nobody can control us because nobody can control our thoughts. Likewise, we can't control anybody else because we can't control anybody else's thoughts. So something awful could be happening around you, but you can control your thoughts. I went on to say, everything is unfolding perfectly. Trust that and continue to follow where you're led. If it feels good, take action. If not, investigate and find out if your hesitation is based in a real or a fake fear. If we have a negative emotion, it's always based in fear. So we use the 2-minute rule. Is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes, right? If it is, get out of the road before the bus runs you over. If it isn't, it's a fake fear, take a step. It's going to lessen the fear enough that you can take a step and move towards where you're being led. Hope this clarifies things for you. P.S. Your dad said to let you know life in heaven is amazing and he loves you back. So I thought that was really cute. Diana, thank you for submitting that question about your dad, and I hope it brings you some comfort and some joy in hearing that he loves you back. No surprise there. So, all right, let's go back to the phones, and our next caller is Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Julie. I have a question about some medical issues that kind of came up out of nowhere.
Okay.
But the worst for me is insomnia.
Okay. All right. Where are you located?
Oh, yeah, I've just seen... Oh, I'm in San Diego.
Okay. Terrific. And insomnia, talk to me about that. Are you waking up like at a certain time each night, or what's going on?
No, it's like a literal inability to sleep. And I've had the doctors, just kind of brush it off as anxiety, but it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah. So you have trouble falling asleep, or once you're asleep, then you wake up, or what?
Yeah, both.
Okay. All right. So what are you doing before you go to bed? Do you have a bedtime routine, like how little kids do? Do you have a bedtime routine?
Yeah, I usually try to meditate first, do kind of calming lotion, stuff like that. And then they've given me all sorts of sleeping aids, but nothing seems to work.
Okay. How young are you, Katie?
I'm 26.
Okay. All right. That's young. All right. So do you take magnesium?
Mm-hmm.
Magnesium will help. GABA will help. Have a routine, sounds like you do, that is going to be no screen time for at least an hour before you go to bed, because it just gets our brains too busy. And the other thing I would suggest is a lot of times when our hormones are out of whack, that can be a problem too, and be a problem with sleep. So consider talking to a functional medicine doctor who can test your hormones and see what's going on there, and then go from there. What I'm getting is it's lack of magnesium. Another, I think it's an amino acid, is called GABA, GABA. Has anybody given you the suggestion of using GABA? Yes?
Yeah, I take that every night.
Okay, all right. Have you been to see Amen Clinics up in Costa Mesa in Orange County, north of you?
No. Amen.
You may want to look them up. It's Amen, like Amen, hallelujah at the end of a prayer. Amen. And go to amenclinics.com and check that out. They require that you pay them for their services, but then they'll give you an invoice where you can bill your insurance. It has all the billing codes and stuff on it. I think they can probably help you figure out what's going on with that. I get you need more magnesium. I get that your hormones are out of whack, and I get that you need more of this GABA, and that will help. And then your routine, stay off the computer and screens. And also get all electronics out of your bedroom. Do you keep your phone in your bedroom?
Well, I put it on sleep mode and then it's out of sight.
Okay. Put it in your bathroom. Get it out of your bedroom altogether. There may be some EMF stuff going there. So I hope that helps. And I wish you sweet dreams.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All righty. Let's see who's next. I believe our next caller is Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Oh, I guess she's not there.
Hi, Julie.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I couldn't find you.
Hi.
Hi. I'm going to hold you over for the break. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll see what Nancy's question is and see what Spirit has to say the answer is. So you're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Stay with us, and we'll be right back with Miss Nancy. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking with Miss Nancy. Hi, Nancy. You still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Terrific. Please tell everybody where you're located.
I'm in Silver Spring, outside Washington, D.C.
Okay, terrific.
That's
got a
Silver
question,
Spring, Maryland.
Yeah, you got a question for me?
Yes. Thank you for taking my question. I was wondering what you can tell me about any health issues that I'll be facing coming up.
Can you be more specific just from a time standpoint? I'd be happy to do that on a 1 hour consultation where it's just you and me, but do you have anything in particular you want me to check for you just from a time constraint standpoint?
Well, I guess in the next, say, 6 months to a year, I've been taking very good care of myself. At least I think I have, with diet and exercise. And I just have this nagging feeling that the other shoe is about to drop, and I can't really identify anything in particular medically. But
are you having any symptoms of anything that concerns you, Nancy?
No symptoms. But I know that a lot of things can grow slowly and they can develop slowly, and I just have this feeling that there's something going on that I'm not aware of, and maybe I should be doing something differently, diet-wise or exercise-wise. I don't know.
Well, you're using your imagination to envision things that you don't want is what you're doing. So what I talked about earlier, the 2-minute rule, when you have an emotion that comes in that feels badly, and we have them all day, all of us, and you know how you'll have a thought and it leads to another thought, leads to another thought, leads to another thought, and before you know it, you just feel terrible because you've dreamt up all this stuff that's not real. All you have to ask yourself is this going to kill me in the next 2 minutes? If the answer is yes, change the conditions. If the answer is no, it's a fake fear based in an irrational fear based in a limiting belief. Limiting beliefs just don't have enough information. So limiting beliefs we pick up in our lives, and we're told, once you get to be a certain age, stuff starts going wrong. And so you better be prepared. Or when your health declines, and everybody's health declines and all of that. That's not true. It doesn't need to be. So the fact that you don't have any symptoms for anything, the fact that you're just worried about it, use a 2-minute rule. And then what happens is it snaps you back into alignment, and then you can get a thought. Okay, maybe I need to look at walking every day. Maybe I need to look at eating this kind of food that's good for me, whatever. So that'll help. But use the 2-minute rule.
Okay, and no, I definitely, I can see that definitely. I was just trying to, pay attention to my intuition. When you have a nagging feeling that, logic tells you can't be right, can't be true. Not that I'm a doctor, I can't really diagnose myself. No, I totally get what you're saying. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be one of these people that, the gift of fear.
Thoughts don't originate in our heads, Nancy. They originate in the ethers. We pull them in based on what we're thinking about. Thoughts are broadcast on a radio station similar to what we're talking on tonight. And so you're listening to classic rock. That's the music that's being broadcast on that frequency. Same thing. You have this nagging feeling. That's a thought coming in. When a thought feels badly, it warrants investigation. Is this a real fear? Is this a fake fear? You don't have any symptoms. You haven't had a doctor tell you anything. You feel good. That's a fake fear. So 2-minute rule. It works great. Okay, let's see who's next. Let's go to Nora next. Hi, Nora.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Terrific. Where are you located?
In Henderson, Nevada.
Oh, terrific. Outside of Vegas.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing good over here.
My girlfriend used to live there, so I know it well. I went there many times. Well, terrific. You got a question for me?
I do. So we lost a family member a couple weeks ago. I was wondering if he had any messages for his humans.
Yeah, who is it? Who passed?
It was a pug.
Oh.
His name is Vladimir. Yeah.
Oh. Did you call him Vlad?
Yeah.
Vlad. That.
Yeah.
You called him Vlad. Oh my gosh. He was a pug. Oh my gosh. How cute is that? Oh, yeah. How old was he?
I think he was like 14 years old.
So he lived a long life.
I know.
Yeah. In dog years.
Yeah.
What is that? 14 times 7? I don't know. I didn't learn my 14s times table. That's like advanced math. You can do the calculations there. What's that? 28, 7, 8, 9, almost 100 years old? No, more than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, let me get in touch with Vlad. Vlad is right near you. So do you have a question for him, Nora?
I just want to know if he has anything to say to, the family that's been left behind. If he had a happy life, with us. Yeah. We all love him, and his death really affected, and my son-in-law, that's who his dog was, and
it is so hard. Yeah, it's so hard. And when you lose a pet, I hear this all the time, and I experience this myself. You think, God, I'm grieving as much for this pet as I was for a human. And sometimes you're with the pet way more than a human. Like if you have a family member that passes that doesn't live with you. So, he's saying get a puppy. You can share the toys, but find one that's housebroken, so you don't have to do that housebroken thing. So he's saying get a puppy, and name it Vlad too. There you go. Thanks, Nora. All right, everybody, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll see who's next. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go to the phones again, and our next caller's Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm lovely. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. I'm calling. Oh, do you need to know where I'm calling from, or
yes,
or
please.
Not?
Yeah.
Okay, Skokie, Illinois. Excuse me.
Terrific. Are you surviving all that snow out there?
Yeah, barely. I just stay inside all the time. Me and my cat. we're both seniors. We're both hibernating inside.
Oh, good.
I am.
Well, you got a question?
Yes, I'm calling about Alex, the cat, my cat, and I was wondering if you could scan him. He's been acting, his behavior has been changing a bit, and sometimes he makes sounds like as if he's in pain. So I just thought maybe if you could scan him, see what's going on, if anything.
Sure. Here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, to you in Skokie. All right, got you, Alex. When you said he's in pain, I got a yes on that. I believe he is in pain. Where the energy went, Bunny, was his hips, like his hind hips. Does he seem to be having some tenderness there? Is he jumping like he normally does? What's he doing that's different, that's alerted you to that?
Well, sometimes he does take his time to jump. I mean, sometimes he does okay, other times maybe not. I know he does have some knots. Both of us do. We're both in bad shape with the knots. He's got some fur, he's a long-haired cat. So I'm having a hard time keeping up with taking care of him, actually. So he's about 15, something like that. I'm not sure exact age. He's a lot for me to take care of.
But is he good company for you still?
Yes, it's kind of a mixed bag. He is good company for me for sure. I mean, I don't know what I'd do without him, to be honest, especially during this pandemic, we're inside a lot. At least I am. I don't go out much at all except to the grocery store once or twice a week. So, yes, he's been my companion for sure. Absolutely.
Good. Well, what I did, Bunny, was I put some anti-inflammatory energy on his back hips. His hips look inflamed to me. And so next time you take him to the vet, I would ask them about that. They'll examine him and they'll figure out what's going on. But that's what I got. So other than that, he looks good. His spirit's in his body, and I think he's going to be around for a while. So I think you're going to have your companion with you for a while. Thanks so much for calling in this evening, and stay warm up there. All right, let's go to Lori next. Hi, Lori.
Hi,
Lori. I'm wonderful. How are you?
Me?
How you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Terrific. Please tell everybody where you're located.
I am in San Diego, and we do not have any snow.
I know. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, when I lived in LA that first year, Lori, especially at Christmas time, I thought, you people are pretending. There's palm trees and it's 70-something degrees. It's not really December. And then I remember my first January, I kept thinking, oh my God, it really is January. People are having blizzards elsewhere and the weather is amazing in Southern California. So, well, you got a question for me?
Yes, I'm calling about my friend's husband, who's been very ill. They are in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
His name is Matt. He has a genetic disorder. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it makes, they're called nerve sheath tumors. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those.
Wow.
These are these tumors, and normally they form in the limbs, and they wrap around the nerves, and they're very, very painful. They're usually benign. He's been having them continually in his abdomen. So he's had operation after surgery after surgery after surgery, and they were coming, and they'd have surgery, and then he would be able to wait a couple of years, and then they'd grow back, and he'd have another surgery. Well, they just started coming faster and bigger quickly. And they said that they couldn't operate within a certain amount of time. They had to just wait, I guess, a certain amount of time between surgeries on us. Anyway, he's miserable. It's pretty advanced. He since has had 8 rounds of radiation, which didn't, I think maybe it stabilized the tumors that are in there, but it didn't shrink them. And now he's getting ready to have chemo. I think they're putting his port in on the 8th. So
are they malignant, Lori? Are they malignant?
Well, they said that they're benign, but they don't know how to treat them any other way than to treat them as if they are cancerous. Mm-hmm. Because they keep growing back. Oh, so I feel horrible for them, and she's at a cancer center in Salt Lake, and I just said, well, let me call in on your show. You're wonderful, and perhaps you can scan him. He's ready to scan, hopefully. I have to keep an open mind. And have some ideas maybe of some other direction they might be able to go, or what to do to help him. He's in a lot of pain. He has 3 different tubes coming out of him. Can't eat. His kidneys aren't draining properly into his bladder, and they're having to drain the excess acid out of his stomach. So,
oh, jeez.
Pretty miserable, but he is at home.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So I'm going to connect from you to Matt. So my laser beams come from Alabama to San Diego, shooting back up to Salt Lake. Got him, Matt. I'm talking with your friend Lori, and she wants me to scan you. Do I have your permission? Yes. Good job setting that up. Okay. First thing I'm doing is the DNA healing. He has 8 strands of DNA that have come out. What's he been exposed to? He's been exposed to some kind of toxins that have just gotten his DNA. That's what I see. And a lot of times, if I have somebody for an hour, a lot of time, Lori, we can reverse engineer what the cause is. And invariably, it's some toxin that they've been exposed to. I talked to somebody recently who had cancer, and he worked in a steel plant. Or he was a rep. He was a sales rep, but he was in and out of steel plants. He sold steel. And he was in and out of big manufacturing plants and exposed to all kinds of toxins. So that's what I'm getting is going on with Matt. So strands of DNA, you probably heard me before. They look like little pieces of paper you see inside a fortune cookie with the recipe on them, with the fortune on them and the fortune cookies, but the DNA recipe is what I see. Letters A, T, C, G. They are being resequenced, and then when they're done, they snap back in to the... I'd love to have him for an hour, if you can talk him into scheduling time. And if he's not up to it, maybe you and his wife...
I actually have a schedule with you, but I have an appointment with you, but it's not until April.
Okay.
I've been looking to reschedule every day, every morning I click in. I wanted to give them my appointment.
Good. Okay.
No, 2 months, where he'll be.
All right. Yeah, the DNA healing, what I'm watching is those tumors falling off with the DNA healings, and it's not even done yet. I'm watching it in my mind's eye. And they're just tissue. They do not look malignant to me. They're pink tissue. He's just really good at growing stuff. And so the DNA healing's gonna, if his spirit wants to integrate it into his body, it's gonna help return that DNA recipe back to normal. It's amazing, the stuff that we see with these DNA healings. So I'm watching more of the tumors fall off. Do you
think the chemotherapy will help?
Here's how you ask. Is it in Matt's best interest to do chemotherapy to eradicate his tumors? Ask him to do that. I'm getting a yes, but, there's lots of variables there. He's got to feel really, really good about it before he goes down that road, because that stuff's, kills a lot of stuff in the body, kills a lot of cells. I think they're doing that because they don't know what else to do. I'm sure he's had multiple opinions, but have him ask the question, is it in my best interest to ... finish this sentence. First thing that comes in his head within a second is going to be his brain. If it's more than a couple of seconds, that'll be his brain talking to him. But the first thing that comes in is going to be spirit advising him. Have him ask it in a bunch of different ways. Lori, that's such a big decision. So is it in my best interest to, and then finish this sentence. I look forward to talking with him, and we'll do a deep dive, see what we can figure out. You're a sweet friend. Thanks for calling in for him. We'll be right back, everybody. You're listening to the Ask Julie Ryan Show, and we'll get some more callers on, so stay with us. Welcome back. Our next caller is Ronak. Hi, Ronak.
Hi, Julie.
How are you, girl?
Julie. Good.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Please tell everybody where you're located.
I'm from Schenectady, New York.
Okay, terrific. You got a quick question for me?
Yes. My dad had a cardiac attack Friday, and since then he was in life support in Ellis Hospital, Schenectady. Today they take off his life support. Just want to know he will be back home.
Oh, so he's in ICU and he's still on a ventilator at this point. Is he coherent? Ronak, is he awake?
No, they took ventilator off today. He awake, but he don't talk.
They took him off the ventilator today. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
Saying his heart working now. Before
his heart's working.
Breathe.
Okay.
Yeah. So they give him ventilator. Now his lungs working. He's breathing.
Mm-hmm. Ronak, what's your dad's name? What's his first name?
Yusuf.
Okay.
Yusuf. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to connect from you to him, and then we'll see what's going on with him. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam heading up to you in New York, and then from you to your dad. All right, got him. His spirit's in his body, girl. His spirit is in his body. He is not dying at the moment. He may have been in and out of one of the phases of transition, but his spirit's in his body. Will Ronak's dad come home? Right now I get a yes. I'm also getting he may need to go into rehab, but, to get him well. But right now I'm getting a yes, Ronak. And remember, future events are fluid. That could change. That could be different 5 minutes from now, an hour from now, a day from now, a week from now. But right now, when I'm seeing his spirit's in his body, and I'm getting he will come home.
Oh, thank you, Julie. Since my husband died, I'm just living, taking care of my parents, mom and dad. If something happens to them, I have no one.
Yeah.
I talked to you after my husband died.
Right. Oh, gosh.
Now, I have my parents, and I want them with me.
Yeah, I understand. So, he's, I think he's gonna be around for a while from what I'm seeing right now. Now, future events are fluid, but that's what I'm getting right now. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some comfort. Okay.
And he is in restriction for a long time.
Yeah.
Because of his electrolyte unbalance. Okay.
All right. Well, you rest up, because when he comes home, he's going to need a lot of care. So I hope that helps you sleep better tonight. Thanks, honey. Hang in there.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So much.
All righty. Let's see. We got time for one other quick question. Hi, Vanessa. You're next. Where are you located? Vanessa, are you there? Hello, hello. Okay. Vanessa, unmute yourself if you're there. Okay. You're just on my screen. Okay, then let's go to Lori. A lot of Loris tonight. Let's go to Lori. Hi, Lori. Hi,
Hello.
Lori. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Where are you located?
Are you hearing me in Idaho?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you're on the air. Where are you located?
Idaho?
Idaho. Okay. You sound like you're questioning it. You got a quick question for me?
2 false floors.
Oh my gosh. You're what?
Wondering if you could. I'm wondering if you could send some good energy to a place that I've had a couple of surgeries on.
Yeah,
that
sure.
I'm having getting healed.
Yeah. Where's the place?
My backside.
Your backside. Okay. Like
the
bottom of your back or your bottom?
My bottom.
Your bottom. All right. Yeah. Okay. So, got that going on. Yeah, I can see what's going on. I can tell you don't want to talk about it on the air, and I understand why. So what I'm doing is I'm sending stem cell energy to help you heal and feel better. A lot of inflammation. Are you in pain?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay,
no.
Good.
Really? Mm-mm.
Terrific. Okay.
Hey, are my kids looking okay?
What's that?
Are my kidneys looking okay?
I don't know. I'm not in your kidneys. I'm further down. Let me go check out your kidneys. Go back in. That's what's so funny, Lori, is people will say, can you check my ankle? And I'll
press 1 to return to the conference.
Well, I don't know, something's going on weird there. And then I'll check their ankle, and then they'll say, well, you didn't see that my kidneys were infected, and I'll say, well, I wasn't checking your kidneys. It's like you get your knee MRI on your knee, you're not going to see somebody's liver. They're going to check your knee, and it's the same with this when we go there. So, yeah, your kidneys look cloudy to me. I would drink a lot of water and pound the liquids. They look cloudy. So that's about it for this week, everybody. Thank you to all of you that called in. For those of you I didn't get on, please call back next week and let me know you didn't get on, and I'll do my best to take you first. Everybody who's listening, thank you for joining us. Stay warm, stay safe, stay inside if you have ice. And sending you lots of love from Sweet Home, Alabama. Mwah. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Be sure to follow Julie on Instagram and YouTube at Ask Julie Ryan, and like her on Facebook at Ask Julie Ryan. To schedule an appointment or submit a question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.
This show is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical, psychological, financial, or legal advice. Please contact a licensed professional. The Ask Julie Ryan Show, Julie Ryan and all parties involved in producing, recording, and distributing it assume no responsibility for listeners' actions based on any information heard on this or any Ask Julie Ryan shows or podcasts.